Hey, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and today we're talking all about Helene. Okay, so we've got that tornado threat just to the east up in South Carolina and Georgia. Outer bands of Helene will be, and some of this moisture that's coming on land will be producing those tornadoes along the east coast. Now, Helene making landfall later on today. It's at a Category 2 strength right now, but it's intensifying to a Category 4 strength. So you can tell that we've got a ways to go. We're going to see a lot of strengthening over the next 12 hours here. Catastrophic storm surge. Yes, this is something that we've been talking about a lot. If you've got more questions about storm surge, we're going to get into it, but we've also got some short videos on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok that talk about storm surge as well. But let's get right into it. Here's a look at yesterday's storm reports. We had 6 reported tornadoes or potential tornadoes anywhere from the Virginias all the way down to southern Georgia. So we've got a lot of rotating, just little spin-ups in here. Still, some damage was reported from some of these potential tornadoes. We've also got some wind damage in this area as well, and then we've got wind damage down into Florida as well. Look at that tornado right there that pops up in the eastern side of Georgia. We do have several tornado watches going on right now, as well as hurricane watches, hurricane warnings, tropical storm watches and warnings, and storm surge watches and warnings right now as well. But we'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. I want to get right into what we're seeing out there right now. We have a front. You could see it. I'm going to back up and then go. There you go. You can see that front that stretches all the way across from the Florida Panhandle up to our New England states. On the east side of that front, it's very, very rainy. We see showers and storms non-severe up through our New England coast or New England states. We have strong to severe storms further down to the south, anywhere from the Carolinas all the way down to Georgia and even into Florida. This is where we're seeing the tornado threat right now. We have 3 tornado warnings, 1, 2, 3 in place from South Carolina. Farther up to the north, here you go, it's right out of Augusta, and they may have actually just canceled that warning. We have another that is in place right now, and then another going into Baxley. I hope that I'm saying that correctly. So make sure that you have all of your weather alerts turned on today, because this is not the only time that we'll see that tornado threat. We actually have a pretty decent risk for tornadoes right in this area as we head throughout the afternoon hours. All right, there's Helene. There's our troublemaker that's going to be making landfall later on today, bringing us a lot of additional storm hazards, which we'll be talking about just in a few minutes. Out to the west, really dry right now. Current temperatures are sitting in the 70s here in Oklahoma City. We've got 78 out in Dallas, 85 in Denver, and 76 in Kansas City. So it's really not too bad. Even if you head a little bit farther out to the south and east, where we're usually a bit warmer, we've got the 70s, most likely because of all of that cloud cover and rainfall that they're getting right now. I have rainfall totals in just a few minutes. I'll show that to you. We've gotten some pretty impressive rainfall totals, and we're expecting to get more. 77 in Chandler right now, 79 in Dallas, 81 in McKinney. Not too bad if you want to sit on the patio, try to find a spot with a nice breeze, maybe some shade. Feels like 80 degrees down in Memphis right now. All right, let's talk about the storm today. We have that high instability, forecasted instability. You can see that area that we're watching for rotation right here on the east side of Georgia and southern side of South Carolina, highlighted here in yellow. That is where we're watching for potential tornado formation today. We're going to have either isolated or storms that form in a line that could cause spin-up tornadoes. And you know, that often sounds like, oh, it's going to be a weak tornado. That is not always the case. You could get an EF2 out of some of these storms. Spin-up tornadoes just mean that it happens really fast. It means that you're going to have less time to prepare and to react to that warning. So we're prepared. We're watching for that today. We have multiple ways to get our alerts, right? Hail risk today. Now, a lot of you get on here for that hail risk because you see storms coming. Unfortunately, with hurricanes, we do not get a hail risk. So I think that the hail risk today is extremely low to no hail today. Enough so that I couldn't even find a place to pinpoint on the map where we would get significant hail. So no significant hail expected for today. Now, high wind, yes. Flooding, yes. That tornado threat, yes. So let's get into it. Here's your future radar. I've broken this down for you. If you're getting rain, I've got a little red box that shows you exactly what to expect. Low to no severe weather expected farther up to the north. The hazards get worse the farther south that you go. Minor wind gusts and flooding as we head into the Ohio Valley. Heading farther down to the south now, wind speeds today around 40 to 60 miles an hour right now. However, higher with those wind gusts, and then that tornado threat in this area also much higher. Of course, as this hurricane makes its way on shore, those wind speeds are going up. And take a look at this. You can see that almost the eye is sustained even as we head into the middle of Georgia. That is going to be one of the things about this hurricane, not only its size, but in causing widespread impacts, but also how fast it's moving, bringing all these high wind speeds more inland than what we normally see from these tropical storms. Taking a look at that tornado risk today, it's a level 3 on a scale of 5, highlighted there in red for places southern North Carolina, eastern South Carolina, eastern Georgia that hug the Atlantic coast. Atlanta, Charlotte, Tallahassee, you are in a level 1 tornado risk for today. But we're going to have some higher winds in this area as well. So moving on, if my clicker will work, there we go. Taking a look at that landfall, you can see that some of these outer bands will start to come onshore as we head into the early afternoon hours, if not already happening. And you can see that landfall will most likely be later on tonight, most likely as the sun is setting, if not already down. There you go, there's your eye coming into right around Tallahassee, if not a little bit to the east. Continuing, as I mentioned, we still almost have an eye in the middle of Georgia here. We could get up to Category 1 strength wind speeds in the middle of Georgia. That is pretty impressive. Now this storm continues to track to the north and we could have some strong wind speeds like tropical storm strength wind speeds all the way into places like Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Could get some really strong winds out of this. Models are in agreement about where this is going to go. You can see some models go a little to the east, some a little to the west, but right into the center of the Big Bend area in Florida. After that, moving up to Tennessee, right through Georgia, up to Tennessee, into Kentucky, and then causing some flooding issues, lots of rainfall expected as we head into the weekend. Here we are, Sunday, giving us a lot of rain in Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, and portions of western Tennessee, even the Ohio Valley, getting some of those high winds and lots of rain out of this. Okay, taking a look at storm surge potential. Now bear with me here. Our map only goes up to 9 feet. So what I did was I pulled the National Hurricane Center's map. They have 15 to 20 feet at peak storm surge. That is a lot. That's like 3 to 4 times the average person, okay? So you're getting 2 stories up. Every story is about 10 feet in size. So you're going about 2 stories here with storm surge. I think that we can go all the way through here. I think this goes up to 12 feet. Let's see. There you go, normal sea level, there's 3 feet, 6 feet, it's in your house, 12 plus feet, it's covering your house, if not even higher. Now that's just along the coast, okay? Most of these coastal cities are prepared for stuff like this, but the National Hurricane Center is using words like potentially unsurvivable, life-threatening, so they want you to take this seriously. We have also gotten some rain over the last 24 hours in this area, so we are watching for additional rainfall. Some of our rainfall totals so far add up to 4 inches, 6 inches, even 3 inches, a little bit farther to the north. We're expecting to add on to that, totaling double digits at least as we head into the next 24 hours. You can see in the next 5 days here, some of the areas that are going to get rain are not just at landfall or even into Georgia, but also as this hurricane makes its way up to the north, you're going to see Tennessee, Kentucky get completely soaked as we head into the weekend. Even places like Missouri and Arkansas have some really good rainfall from this. Of course, that leads to a flooding potential. So here's your flooding potential for today. I don't know if you saw that, but that pink area very rarely issued by the, I think it's the Climate Prediction Center that issues these flood watches here. So your excessive rainfall, really, really impressive. You're going to have a lot of flooding all the way up Georgia here. This is for tomorrow. This is for Friday. Still some flooding expected along Missouri, Arkansas, through Tennessee, Kentucky, into the Carolinas and the Virginias. And then for Saturday, we're taking that flood risk a little bit farther up to the north. All right, a lot of you have been waiting for this map. This is our classic hurricane map. Category 2 hurricane right now, expected to strengthen significantly over the next 6 to 8 hours here to a Category 3 or 4 hurricane at landfall. This is saying 3. I think we could see Category 4 hurricane at landfall, continuing to track up to Georgia, going straight through the western side of Georgia as we head into the early morning hours tomorrow. So it makes landfall later on this evening, through the overnight hours tonight and into early tomorrow morning through Georgia, bringing some really high wind up this area. And still, as I mentioned earlier, high wind as we get into Tennessee and Kentucky. We could get up to tropical storm force winds as we get into Tennessee and Kentucky. So pretty impressive. It's not, I mean, this is a strong storm, but we're gonna see those high winds because it's moving so quickly. You know, it's like going at a really high speed in the car on the highway, and then all of a sudden you come to a stop. It's going to take you longer to decelerate your speed, right? And that's kind of what this hurricane is doing. It's trying to weaken as it comes onto land. It doesn't have as much fuel as it once did down in the tropics, but it takes a while to weaken, and it's moving so fast that it's going to struggle to weaken as it gets inland. A look at Category 1, Category 2 hurricane as it makes landfall. Here, I'm going to get up to 3 and 4. Hang on. This will take a minute. As it makes landfall, you're going to see the differences of the impacts that it has on structures. Most of our trees are going to have their limbs, pretty barren, pretty ripped off here. You can see all of those leaves are falling off the trees. You can see what it does to a house too at Category 4. Category 5, thankfully, we're not expecting that strength with this storm here. Taking a look at our watches and warnings, we have hurricane warnings all along the Big Bend area of Florida, but that goes all the way up into Georgia as well, probably places that you'd never expect to have a hurricane warning, you know, like central Georgia, just south of Atlanta, has that hurricane warning tonight through early tomorrow morning. Alrighty, if you have any more hurricane questions, you can head over to our TikTok, Facebook, or even Instagram pages. We love to answer your DMs. So put that in our DMs and we'll try to answer those questions as we can. But I'm gonna move on to temperatures now. We've got temperatures in the upper 70s here in Oklahoma City today. We've got the 80s for Friday and Saturday, 83 on Saturday. So if you're watching the game with some friends, the OU game, it's out of town. It's actually in Auburn. It's gonna be a nice day to find some shade, sit on the patio, try to watch that game outside. 80 degrees on Sunday as well. Temperatures stay in the 70s and 80s through the next week. Farther out to the west, temperatures do warm up a little bit as we head into early October. Can you believe it? September is almost over and October is almost here. Alrighty, thanks for joining us today. We are going to have another hurricane update with our CEO, Derek Klein, as it makes landfall later on this evening. So make sure you hit that follow button. You can even hit that icon that can give you notifications. It looks like a little alarm clock on your screen. That'll give you notifications when we go live, so you'll never miss a live. We do a lot of fun things on our live. That'll be Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Instagram and TikTok will post shorter videos, so if you have any questions about storm surge, we've already got a short video on there. Give us a call at 855-334-4245 for more info on hail, tornado, or wind maps. Our meteorologists are going to be very busy. They've already been busy talking about the tornadoes that we've gotten in South Carolina and Georgia today. I heard them talking back there earlier. They're mapping those. So if you have any questions about those or how to get one, give us a call, email us, or head to our website. All right, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow.